Hi, Boker Toker, ready to rock with some Meshivas Nefesh. Welcome back. I'm excited to continue reading. So without further ado, ado. It's good to be a Jew. We're going to read some. We're going to read some of the Holy Meshivas Nefesh. We are up to 18 Yud Ches. Somebody's got issues. He's got dinim. He's got troubles. He's got some kind of tsaros. He's got problems. He's got things that are blocking him from accomplishing what he needs to accomplish in any area or sphere of life, physical, spiritual, emotional, mental, whatever it is. So what do you got to do? Rebbe Nachman says, you got to work extra hard. Be mitgaber and be mitchazek. Strengthen yourself, brother, and be mitchazek against the Yetzer Hara. Because when someone has dinim, that's when the Yetzer Hara comes at him hard and fast. Because the shorish, spiritually, the source of the Yetzer Hara, of that evil inclination, that dragging you down, dragging you away, disconnecting you from Hashem, Ra, Milashon, breaking disconnection, that's Gevuras and Dinim, because we know Gevura is what creates boundaries in the spiritual sense. Today's the sefer of Malchus Shebe Gevura. Gevura is what creates boundaries between one thing and the next. And boundaries are healthy and important, but boundaries can also lead to breakage and disconnection and separation. Dinim is all about disconnect, separation, breakage, things that are pulling us apart. So if we have dinim, if we have issues, things that are happening to us that are that seem negative, that are difficult, but seem bad. They're really good, but they seem bad. So we have to make sure that we fight against the Yetzer Hara, so we connect to Hashem, and in the source, we fix that issue. Yud Tet 19. It also gives a lot of power to the Yetzer Hara. Atzvut, depression, sadness, when we let ourselves get down. So it's very important to try to make ourselves happy with whatever way we can. And as we read through this book, we're going to have lots of advice from Rebbe Nachman for how to be happy and how to give ourselves joy, right? In all different places in this book. But the main hischazkas, the main way of encouraging and giving ourselves strength is with joy, with simcha, with gladness, happiness, whatever words you want to use for this. Like it says in the pasuk, Ki chedvas Hashem ima'uzchem. The chedva of Hashem, rejoicing with God, that is your strength, that is your fortress. That is what will protect you from the Yetzer Hara. We get caught up in negativity when we're down. So we have to make ourselves happy, and we're going to get there. But Rebbe Nachman says straight up in Sichos Haran that most of the time, if you need to make yourself happy and you just got to do what you got to do, he says, Mili de shtuta and mili de bdichuta. That is what gets you out of it. Mili de shtuta means just silly. Make jokes, stupid jokes, silly jokes. Act a little silly. Or mili de bdichuta, bedichut. That means a joke as well. Second. I just had something in my mouth. I had to pull that out. Anyway, I am going to work hard. I'm going to work really hard from now on being a little bit sillier as I read this book and a little bit more jokey, because that's really how I want to read it. Maybe I feel like I've been a little bit too serious up till now. So we're going to try to, joke around and be a little silly. And that way, I'll put myself in a good mood and hopefully put you in a good mood if you enjoy my humor. If you don't, just throw something at me through the computer. You can't touch me. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. All right, here goes. 20. I love Rebbe Nachman. He's so, what's the word I'm looking for? Things are opposite, paradoxical. That hisrachakos, when someone is distanced from God, that is the beginning of the hiskarvos. That is the beginning of his being drawn close. Hainu. What does this mean? When someone wants to come close to Hashem Yisparach, a yid who wants to be more spiritual, wants to be more connected, wants to be more in the moment, wants to daven better, wants to learn better, wants to do more chesed, wants to be a better human being, better midos, whatever it is. He wants to come close to Hashem Yisparach, wants to connect more. He wants to speak to God. He wants to say Tehillim. He wants to feel connected and alive. So then what happens? We say, you know what? I'm gonna take on something that's gonna help me be closer to God. And then what happens is suddenly he starts getting dinim, yisurim, maniot. What does that mean? Things start blocking him. He wants to accomplish, and suddenly he wants to go learn. He wants to go daven, and suddenly this one needs him, that one needs him. He's got a financial crisis. He's got issues. Upsetting things happen. Issues come up, and he says, "God, why do I feel like you're pushing me away? Just feels like here I am trying to do something good, and you're throwing all this stuff at me and knocking me down." So what is that all about? So Rebbe Nachman is telling us that it's really all for our own good. It's really in order to bring us closer. And what we need to do at that stage is to say, you know what? I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. You could throw the Yetzer Haras at me. You could throw the negativity at me. You could throw all these manios, all these obstacles, stumbling blocks, but I will not back down. As Tom Petty says, no, I won't back down. It sounds terrible. I know. Sorry, bad voice, and it's the morning. But bottom line is, check out some Tom Petty. He'll help you not back down. And we have to stand up and then Nisayon and say, no, I'm not going to let it. I'm not going to let it push me away, because it's like weights. You know, we'll make those heavy weights, and we're going to build those muscles up. Hashem kind of throws stuff at us, and we'll see more and more through this book. Again, it's going to be explained, but this is just the basic idea that Hashem throws stuff at us very often to increase our desire, to push us harder, to give us. Anyway, the bottom line is what he's telling us over here is, don't make the mistake of saying, God, you're pushing me away. But we got to know that Hashem is throwing stuff at us because he needs us to increase our energy. He needs us to increase our desire and increase our push to accomplish. Because he's saying, you're going to need more. So push a little harder. Couldn't you try just a little bit harder? So and really all it is Hashem just pushing you, saying you're gonna have to give a little bit more oomph. All right, let's do one more, because thank God I'm in a good zone today. And when you're in a good zone, keep going. Right? Like we said in the first piece, Im esek shamayim shamata. I'm feeling in a good zone. Feeling like, well, I'm in Shemayim a little while. I'm feeling like the Meshivas Nefesh is flowing today. So Shamat, I go, no, all I'm doing, we got to push further, push a little bit more. Let's do some more. 21. A great eitzah to be mechazik is your mouth talking. What does that mean? So Rebbe Nachman says, all right, you've fallen to wherever you've fallen. Leave your day maris nafsho. Every heart knows its own bitterness to where we've fallen. And sometimes we fall to places that we look at ourselves and go, what the heck am I doing here? But you know what? Wherever you are, say something real. Speak dibure emes. Speak real from the heart. Say something emistic. Whether it's Torah, tefillah, talk yirat shemayim, talk to God, talk to your friend, talk to your mentor, your Rebbe. Talk real. Don't be a faker. Don't distract yourself with shtuyot. Talk real about what you're going through and what you want to accomplish and how you want to get out of it. Be honest, because when you talk, such an incredible power when we express ourselves, and especially has a power to remind us that we want to connect to Hashem Yisparach, and it has a great power to be mechazik ourselves and to lift ourselves up, no matter how far we are. So he says you should check out what it says in Likutei Eitzos in the part called Dibur Ois Yud Tes. I'm going to read this inside because he says V'zu Lashono Sham. Gam hadibur hu bechenas eim habanim. Speech is like the mother of the children. Hainu kamosha ha'eim holechet tamid im baneha afilu makomas hamatunafim. Just like a mother will go with her children to the most filthy places. So a mother, no matter where her kid goes, she will go and take care of that kid. No matter how soiled his clothing is, she will clean him up and take care of him. So too, your dibur, your koach hadibur, it goes with you. It's with you wherever you are, even in the filthiest places, even in the worst places. And when you talk true words, it can remind you of Mazkiros V'Tamenes Hashem Yisbarach. It can remind you of Hashem Yisbarach. Hainu, what does this mean? Even if a person is in the lowest madrega, a place where he, quite frankly, never wanted to be, never thought he'd end up being, but even over there, when you speak, when you talk to God, your words, just the words coming out, form words with your mouth. I want to be a good Jew. I don't want to be stuck here. Whatever it is, just breath, words, form them. Reminded of Reminded of a Louis C.K. bit, but let's not talk about it here. What were we saying? So we're in a negative place. Dibur, your words can help you out. And what that means is just be mechazik, speak some holy words. Sometimes it could just be Torah, tefillah. Talk to God, talk to your Rebbe, talk to your friend about Yirat Shemayim. That'll help you. It'll remind yourself of who you are. You're a Yid. You want to connect to Hashem Yisparach. And it really, really, really works. And he says over and over, he keeps saying, V'havein hadavar heitev. You got to understand this very well. Goydel koach hadibur, the incredible power of using your words. It's an incredible, very powerful, awesome eitzah for someone who does not, the words he uses. Someone who really does not want to lose his olam forever. You don't want to lose your world, whether it's olam hazeh or olam haba. You don't want to lose it. You don't want to just disconnect. Speak, talk, communicate. I know in my life, I'm always telling the people around me, you're having a hard time, communicate it, talk it out. Even just a little bit, it really, really helps. For relationships, I know it helps for interpersonal relationships. When you have an issue, when you're going through a rough time, you speak to another person. Daiga belevish yisichena, Shlomo Melech tells us, it's a worry in your heart, speak it out. And it helps in interpersonal relationships, and it certainly helps in your relationship with God. You talk a little bit, you say something. It's interesting, even the smallest thing. It was just Pesach recently, right? And on Shvi Shel Pesach, I read the story of the Baal Shem Tov and his trip to Eretz Yisrael when he was, after they got shipwrecked, and they were on the island, and they got captured by the cannibals or whatever it was, and they were tied them up, and they were preparing to cook them. It was the Baal Shem Tov and his Misharis Rav Hirsch and his daughter, the Heilige Adol. And Rav Hirsch said to the Baal Shem Tov, he's like, Rebbe, do something, make some yichudim, get us out of here. And the Baal Shem Tov said, I don't know anything. I'm like totally blank. I'm empty. I've got nothing to say. And so he says, what about you, Hirsch? You say something. He's like, I can't think of anything. All I can think of is the olive bays. So Baal Shem Tov says, all right, so start saying the olive bays. So he started, olive. And the Baal Shem Tov said, olive, bays. Just anything. Sometimes just talking a little holiness gets you out of it. So I'm happy I had the opportunity to talk a little holiness this morning, to speak some words of Rabbi Nachman's wisdom, Rabbi Nachman's chizuk. I'm going to put a little bookmark in here. Boom, up to 22. And we're going to come back to that tomorrow. So awesome. Keep your spirits up. Keep it up. Say a few words of holiness here and there. If you're stuck, if you're not doing so great, just speak it out. God help me. Even just God help me. I remember hearing from Chaim Kramer, Hashem should bless him with refuah shalema. I remember you talked about back in the Brooklyn days, he needed help. And I don't remember what the story was. I just remember he said he was driving around in his car And he rolled up the window so no one hear him, and you just scream, Hashem, help me! You just scream out to Hashem, even just that. Rebbe Nachman says sometimes all you need to just yell is Rabbeinu Shalom, Master of the world, Rabbeinu Shalom, even just Elef Pamim, Rabbeinu Shalom, just yell that 1,000 times. Whatever it is, just speak, talk, get those words out. All right, have an awesome day, guys. Looking forward to seeing you next time.